Welcome to the European Association for Higher Education Advancement's YouTube and podcast channel. Today we're taking a deep dive into
Cool.
a fascinating article.
Okay.
It's called "These Three Strategies Can Boost Innovation at Your Company," and it's from the European Association for Higher Education Advancement.
Nice.
So whether you're, like knee-deep in the corporate world or working on a personal project or just kind of curious about how innovation works, we've got some really insightful takeaways for you today.
Yeah. What I think is so interesting about this article is how it just lays out this really clear path for companies to avoid becoming stagnant and really embrace innovation.
Yeah.
And it starts by painting this kind of stark picture
Right.
of what happens when companies just resist change.
Yeah. The article definitely doesn't sugarcoat it.
No.
It's like, low employee engagement and outdated products.
Yeah.
And then ultimately declining revenues.
Yeah.
Like it's a cautionary tale.
It is.
But then it shifts gears.
Right.
And offers a more optimistic outlook.
Exactly. And it really argues that instead of just giving lip service to innovation, companies need to actively embed it
Yeah.
into their structure.
Actually do it.
Yeah. And it gives some really specific practical examples.
Oh, nice.
One that really stood out to me was the concept of innovation days.
Oh, yeah.
Actually carving out dedicated time for brainstorming and generating new ideas.
Yeah, that's a great example. I can imagine just having that kind of structured time to be creative.
Yeah.
Can really help break through those mental barriers.
Totally.
That can sometimes stifle creativity.
Yeah.
And it's not just about scheduling time, right?
Right.
The article also talks about physical space.
Absolutely. Creating these dedicated spaces for innovation.
Oh, cool.
Think vibrant collaborative environments.
Okay.
That encourage people to think outside the box. It's about fostering a culture where experimentation is encouraged, even celebrated.
So it's not enough to just have these cool brainstorming sessions and funky workspaces.
Right.
The article really digs into the importance of company culture.
Yes. And that's where it gets really interesting because it's about shifting mindsets.
Yeah.
The article asks some really tough questions.
Oh, like what?
How approachable is leadership?
Okay.
And is risk-taking encouraged or is failure met with punishment?
Wow. Those are some really probing questions. And I think they apply to any organization, not just businesses.
Mm-hmm.
If people are afraid to make mistakes,
Right.
they're less likely to, propose new ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Or challenge the status quo.
It's about fostering that culture of psychological safety.
Yeah.
That's crucial for innovation to thrive. People need to feel comfortable sharing their ideas.
Right.
Even the unconventional ones.
Yeah.
Without fear of repercussions.
So we've talked about embedding innovation into the company structure.
Yes.
And fostering a culture that embraces it. What's the third key strategy?
So the third key strategy is what the article calls cutting the fluff.
Oh, interesting.
And it argues that overburdened minds just don't have the mental space for innovation.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're so bogged down with busy work and excessive meetings and rigid procedures that creativity just gets squeezed out.
It makes sense when you think about it. If you're constantly putting out fires and dealing with unnecessary tasks,
Totally.
it's hard to find the time and energy
Exactly.
to think strategically
Right.
or come up with new solutions.
And the article gets very specific about the types of fluff
Okay.
that can sabotage innovation.
Like what?
So one example is having too many meetings
Oh,
that could have just been emails or quick conversations.
Totally.
Or spending hours on these tedious tasks that could be automated or delegated.
Right.
It's about being mindful of how we're using our time and energy.
Absolutely.
Another fluff culprit is insufficient time off. Oh, yeah.
Which can lead to burnout and just stifle creativity.
Big time.
Then there's understaffing, which can overload employees.
Yeah.
And again, leave them with less mental bandwidth for innovation.
Right.
And then finally, rigid corporate policies
Yeah.
can really stifle innovation.
I've definitely experienced that too many rules and regulations can really box people in and discourage them from thinking outside the lines.
It's like trying to be creative with your hands tied.
Exactly.
The article's message is clear.
Okay.
To foster innovation, you need to create space for it by eliminating these unnecessary burdens and distractions.
So as you listen to this, we encourage you to think about your own work environment or even your personal life. Do any of these fluff culprits resonate with you?
Yeah.
What steps could you take to, like, clear the clutter and create more space for innovation?
It's a great question to consider.
Yeah.
Sometimes just recognizing the problem is the first step towards finding a solution. Totally. I think that's a really good point.
Now I'd like to shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about the organization behind this insightful article.
Yes. Let's delve a bit deeper into the European Association for Higher Education Advancement, or EAHEA, as they're known.
Right. So they're an international organization
Yeah.
with a mission to promote quality and innovation in higher education worldwide.
Wow.
Founded in 1997.
So they've been at this for over 25 years.
Exactly. They have a wealth of experience and expertise in this area.
That's awesome.
One of their core functions is accreditation.
Okay.
So they evaluate educational institutions to ensure they meet specific standards of quality and innovation.
That's such an important role.
It is.
Helps students make informed decisions about their education.
Yeah,
And ensures that institutions are constantly striving for excellence.
absolutely. And it's not just about ticking boxes.
Right.
EAHEA is truly committed to fostering innovation in higher education.
That's great.
They offer a range of services, including professional development programs and resources for educators, all geared towards promoting a culture of innovation.
It's inspiring to see an organization like EAHEA not only talking the talk,
Right.
but also walking the walk.
Exactly. They're living proof that these principles of innovation can be applied in real-world settings
Yeah.
with tangible results.
And that's a perfect segue back to the article's core message.
Yes.
We've talked about the importance of embedding innovation, fostering a supportive culture,
Right.
and cutting the fluff.
Yes.
But the article primarily focuses on companies.
Yeah.
What I find really intriguing is how these principles can be applied to our own lives.
Oh, interesting.
How can we as individuals embed innovation into our routines?
Right.
Cultivate a culture of creativity within ourselves and eliminate those personal fluff culprits that hold us back.
That's a powerful question.
Yeah.
It's almost like taking the concept of personal development and reframing it through the lens of innovation. I love that.
Instead of just setting goals and working towards them,
Yeah.
it's about constantly seeking new and better ways to achieve those goals,
Right.
to learn to grow and to evolve.
I love that it's about adopting a mindset of continuous improvement,
Yeah.
of always being open to new ideas and approaches.
Exactly.
And that can apply to any area of our lives.
Totally.
Our work, our relationships, our creative pursuits, even our hobbies.
Exactly. It's about cultivating that inner innovator,
Yeah.
that spark of curiosity that drives us to explore, experiment,
Right.
and push the boundaries of what's possible.
I like that.
And who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe by applying these principles, we can unlock untapped potential
Absolutely.
and achieve things we never thought possible.
And maybe EAHEA can help you get there.
Exactly.
So we want to thank you for joining us for this deep dive into boosting innovation.
Thanks for listening.
We encourage you to check out EAHEA
Yes.
for more incredible insights on higher education advancement. Their website is a treasure trove of resources,
Yes, it is.
and their work is truly inspiring. It's almost like giving ourselves permission
Yeah.
to think differently, to question assumptions,
Right.
and to be open to new possibilities. And it doesn't have to be, some grand life-altering shift.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point. It's easy to get overwhelmed when we think about innovation as this massive undertaking.
Right.
But it can start with small changes,
Absolutely.
with tweaking our routines or trying new approaches to familiar tasks.
Totally. Even something as simple as taking a different route to work
Okay.
can spark new ideas or perspectives.
Interesting.
It's about breaking out of those habitual patterns
Right.
that can sometimes limit our thinking.
And I think that's where the concept of cutting the fluff becomes really relevant
Yes.
in our personal lives. What are those time-wasting activities, those distractions, or even those negative thought patterns that are preventing us from being our most creative and innovative selves?
It's like decluttering our minds,
Okay.
just as we might declutter our homes or workspaces.
Yeah.
What are those mental burdens, those anxieties, or those self-limiting beliefs that are taking up valuable space?
It's a fascinating analogy, isn't it?
Yeah.
We often talk about decluttering our physical spaces to create a sense of calm and order. But what about applying that same principle to our mental and emotional well-being?
I think that's a key insight from this article.
Yeah.
Innovation isn't just about coming up with the next big invention or disrupting an industry. It's about finding ways to improve, to grow, and to evolve in all aspects of our lives.
It's about becoming more mindful of our thoughts, our habits, and our surroundings.
Yeah.
And then making conscious choices to create the conditions that allow innovation to flourish.
And I think that's where organizations like EAHEA can play such an important role. They're
Yeah.
not just advocating for innovation in higher education.
Mm-hmm.
They're actively creating the structures, the resources, and the support systems that make it possible.
One example that comes to mind is their accreditation process, which you mentioned earlier.
Right.
It's not just about meeting a set of standards. It's about pushing institutions to constantly strive for excellence
Yeah.
and to embrace innovation in their teaching, research, and community engagement.
That's a great example. And they also offer a wide range of professional development programs
Okay.
for educators, helping them stay abreast of the latest trends in teaching and learning, and providing them with the tools they need to foster innovation in their classrooms.
It's like they're building a whole ecosystem of innovation
Exactly.
within the higher education sector.
And what's particularly inspiring is that their work extends beyond individual institutions.
Oh, wow.
They're promoting collaboration and knowledge sharing across national borders,
Okay.
creating a global network of innovators dedicated to advancing higher education.
It's really impressive to see the impact they're having on a global scale.
And it all stems from a deep-seated belief in the power of innovation to transform lives and shape the future. They're not just talking about it.
Right.
They're living it.
It's a reminder that innovation isn't some abstract concept.
Yeah.
It's a force for positive change that can be harnessed and directed towards creating a better world.
Absolutely.
And it starts with each of us, with our own willingness to embrace new ideas, challenge assumptions,
Right.
and make space for creativity in our lives.
That's a great point. It's easy to get caught up in the day-to-day demands of our lives and forget to nurture that inner innovator.
Totally.
But as we've discussed today, even small changes, small acts of creative rebellion can have a ripple effect.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Okay.
we want to leave you with this thought. What small step can you take today to invite more innovation into your life?
Maybe it's trying a new approach to a familiar task, setting aside dedicated time for brainstorming, or simply being more mindful of the fluff that's cluttering your mental space.
Whatever it is, we encourage you to embrace the challenge and see where it leads you. You might be surprised by what you discover.
And if you're looking for inspiration, be sure to check out the European Association for Higher Education Advancement.
Yes.
Their work is a testament to the transformative power of innovation.
Absolutely. We want to thank you for joining us for this deep dive into boosting innovation.
Thanks for listening.
We hope you've come away with some valuable insights
Yeah.
and a renewed sense of possibility.
Absolutely.
And remember, the journey of innovation never ends. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. And keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. It's been a truly inspiring conversation.
It has.
And I think one of the key takeaways for me is that innovation isn't just about coming up with groundbreaking inventions or disrupting industries.
Yeah, it's more about a mindset,
Right.
a way of approaching the world with curiosity, openness, and a willingness to challenge the status quo.
And that's something we can all cultivate,
Absolutely.
regardless of our job titles or areas of expertise.
Right.
The article we discussed today provided some fantastic insights into how companies can foster innovation.
Yeah.
But as we've explored, these principles are equally relevant
Yeah.
to our personal lives.
Absolutely.
Whether it's finding a more efficient way to organize our day,
Right.
or experimenting with a new recipe,
Yeah.
or simply taking a different perspective on a familiar problem, there are countless opportunities for innovation in our everyday lives.
I agree.
It's about recognizing those opportunities
Yeah.
and giving ourselves permission to explore them.
And sometimes that means letting go
Okay?
of old habits, outdated beliefs,
Right.
and those pesky fluff culprits
Yeah.
that can just clutter our minds and stifle our creativity.
It's about creating the space, both mental and physical,
Yes.
for innovation to take root and flourish. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of innovation,
Okay.
I want to leave you with a challenge.
What's that?
What one small step can you take today to embrace the spirit of innovation in your own life?
Maybe it's finally tackling that project you've been putting off.
Oh, yeah.
Or reaching out to someone with a fresh perspective.
Yeah.
Or simply taking a few minutes to brainstorm new ideas.
Whatever it is, we encourage you to approach it with a sense of curiosity, playfulness, and a willingness to embrace the unknown.
Totally.
Remember, innovation isn't about perfection.
Right.
It's about progress.
And sometimes the most unexpected detours
Yeah.
lead to the most remarkable discoveries.
So go out there, experiment, explore,
Mm-hmm.
and never stop seeking new ways to learn, grow,
Right.
and make a positive impact on the world.
Absolutely.
And if you're looking for guidance and inspiration along the way, be sure to check out the European Association for Higher Education Advancement.
Yes. Their commitment to fostering innovation in higher education is truly inspiring.
Absolutely.
And their website is a treasure trove of resources for anyone seeking to embrace the power of innovation.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of innovation.
Thanks for listening.
We hope you found it insightful, engaging, and perhaps even a little bit transformative.
And remember, the journey of innovation never ends. Keep exploring, keep experimenting, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Please don't forget to follow the European Association for Higher Education Advancement on YouTube and social media.